Hey, AfterBuzzers and Loyals, we are back with Season 4, Episode 4, and we cannot wait to break it down. We've got power shutoffs that did Robert start? Gretta is no longer in Dutchie's got a new hubby. We're breaking it all down for you. Don't go away.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
The lights go out. I'm going to have to give Lyndsey all the credit for this one because legitimately this is too perfect for this episode.
It was so perfect. It's such a good oldie but goodie song. Guilty pleasure.
100%. Guys, welcome back to another after show of the Royals. And I'm welcomed by this lovely lady, Lyndsey Wegner. Thank you so much for joining us in Fern's absence.
I'm glad to be here. She sent me a little message saying you guys need someone to fill in, and I was glad to step in. I love watching the show. I watch it every week. I watch this and the arrangement like back to back because I'm like, ooh, yes, it's so good and juicy and amazing.
So good. I actually do the after show for the arrangement right after this, and it is this week too. For some reason on television this week, every single show that I've been watching has been one where I've had to watch it twice to make sure I didn't miss anything because there was so much
going on
that went down. But hey guys, Nasta here. We do miss Fern, but she will be joining us again next week. So hello Fern if you're watching, and hello to everybody in the chat. We're so excited to have you there, and we are going to be checking in on that every so often. If you're listening on a podcast, we have a live chat going where we've got viewers and watchers just letting us know what their thoughts were on this episode. Well, let's just go with overall thoughts right now. What was your initial thought after this episode?
First off, I love Lenny and Jasper, and I don't want to like give away a spoiler right away if people haven't seen the episode yet, but I just love their relationship, and I'm so excited to see where this goes, and I'm finally excited they can be together and that they both got over themselves and finally admitted that they wanted to be with one another, and that hopefully this is all going to work out. It's not going to work out. It's gonna they're gonna break it up. It's too good to be true. But I'm really excited right now that it's working out. And I'm excited to delve into our conversation about Robert and this power outage because I think this is what we discussed before we started the show. I think we're both spot on it.
I 100% agree. So let's just go right into Robert. Okay. So Robert has this big scheme going. Last week, I had talked to Fern and I was saying, I think that Robert did this. We obviously know he did it on purpose, but I thought specifically it was to make sure that he could, for once and for all, get rid of Jasper. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought the big plan was. But the more I was watching this episode, I'm realizing, wait a second, I think it's for him to look like a huge hero. He wants the world to kind of like feel okay that he would once be king, because I feel as if he's kind of been having to fight a little bit with the hashtag King Liam that went on. You know, Helena's trying to get out of the way a little bit. So he wants to prove to the people that he's got this and he can take control. What do you think about this whole, do you think he's scheming?
I haven't been a big fan of his from the beginning because I feel like there's ulterior motives there as it is. So yeah, exactly. When he counted down last episode 3, 2, 1 and the lights went out, I knew this was totally on purpose, but I didn't know why. And I agree with you. I thought it was because of Jasper. After watching the episode, it's definitely like with the end of the episode, the way it ended and stuff, he did this to look like the hero. But I think that the great thing about this episode is that Eleanor also looks like a hero. And it comes back to Helena talking about the kids and saying she has splendid children because they all did the right thing in this episode. And it really like set completely, they stamped it that these were actually like her kids are good kids. And whether or not Robert is doing this because he's trying to become the hero in everybody's eyes and win over all of London, he still did a good thing by bringing people over the bridge and showing them this and stuff. It was, I mean, the looting and all that stuff, cleaning up the city. I doubt they're going to cover that next week.
Right. That's going to have like a long step, which I was thinking that was I don't know. Am I crazy to think that was a little too drastic to think that one power outage is going to lead to that much chaos?
I agree with you on that. I think that's just I mean, because you don't know how long it's going to be out. Could it be out for 20 minutes? Could it be out for an hour? This happens in LA. Don't you feel like all the time? Like there'll be blocks without power, not the whole city.
Right.
But there will be blocks without power. So I guess I wouldn't assume. And London doesn't seem like a real big city for crime.
Right.
So
Yeah, I thought it was a little too much with the fires and everything that was happening and just breaking down buildings and stealing things. And the whole ambulance scene was a little crazy. And the fact that they just left Jasper inside of the
we're not
ambulance.
getting paid enough for this?
Right.
What?
Like, are you kidding me? Maybe you just keep driving the truck and, like, you know, I guess you can't drive through people, but they could have easily reversed and tried to get through a different angle.
Sure.
They just stopped. And I'm sorry, but your ambulance can outrun people if you go the opposite direction of where they're chasing.
And I mean, like Jasper said in the ambulance, there are no drugs in here. Like, what are you trying to do here? What are you going to kill the person in the ambulance, like the cripple?
Yeah, like that would make no sense. And what do they have against someone that's just an ambulance because they don't know who this is?
No.
But really quick before we do get into the whole Jasper story, because that is one in itself, I do love what you said about how, you know, everybody did the right thing in this scenario, because we did have, even though it didn't end up in a positive light, we had Liam go towards Gretta to try to, you know, that is the person he's quote unquote, air quote, seeing right now. And then also Len is trying to, you know, step up. And what's really interesting is Fern's prediction is that she'll eventually be queen. And so this whole episode, I was rallying around the fact that I'm thinking, oh my gosh, because she's the only one that actually would do this, is invite everybody back into the palace, because everybody would think, oh, this is crazy, there's too much, they think too much. And Len's just like, no, we're here for the people, we're going to do it. So I love that you brought that up, because that is a queen-like thing to do, mm-hmm. And she really showed that if she is going to become queen, she has everything that she needs to do that, and she's going to make sure it happens.
And Helena told her it was exactly what she would have done.
Mm-hmm.
So she did the right thing, the luncheon, like giving all the food to the people and stuff, and the champagne, to keep everybody calm, to keep everybody happy in that moment. It was, like you said, a very queen-like thing to do. And I would love if that's how things worked out, that she becomes queen, because I think in the beginning of a series, she was definitely like the wild child, the bad girl. And I think Jasper is softening her.
Yeah. Well, and it just shows that this character, everybody can be redeemed, and everybody
Mm-hmm.
has a chance of redemption. And just because she was a young, crazy, you know, 18-year-old or however old she was at the beginning of the series, like, I can't really remember, but you know, it shows that she's really, this is the most we've seen a character develop. Mm-hmm. We've seen Liam's character regress a little bit, mm-hmm. but she's actually starting to come, you know, not full circle, but really arc into the woman that she's becoming. But that's really great to see. But really quick, I do want to just talk about Robert and his whole scheme. And I just want to know, what did you think he was going to do when he showed up to Jasper's ambulance? What was going through his mind that he's thinking he's going to do? My initial thoughts were he's going to hurt Jasper. But do you think, what were your initial thoughts, one? And two, do you think that he would have done anything had Jasper been in the ambulance?
It's really hard to tell, because I would love to say that when he told Eleanor he was leaving to go check on him and find him, he truly meant that, because he did find the ambulance. He did go to find the ambulance. And as far as I could tell, I didn't see him carrying any sort of a gun or, you know, security type precaution. He went alone, first off, which is also kind of scary, because maybe he was going alone to kill him and just, you know, off him right there.
Yeah, then no one would know.
Play it off that the crowd got him or whatever it is. I feel like he's a shady character, so I don't trust him at all. But in this scenario, I do think he would have brought him home. I still think it was all about the hero, because then he looks like a hero to Len too, Eleanor.
Right. That's a great point. That is such a great point, because obviously he would just make himself look only better, because then he's kind of paying back the security guard that's kind of put his life first. So then he's kind of even overshining or overpowering Jasper's heroism. Interesting. That's such a great point. Man, I don't know. But this is why I go so back and forth with this character, because I do see the glimpse of hope in this character's eyes and how he could redeem himself. But I do secretly think he's evil. And he just, you know, maybe he would help Jasper, but then maybe I'm like, but he could just do something so terrible, because he has this menacing factor about him. And I just can't really, I don't know if I 100% believe it yet, but I do believe it.
I think we saw in the beginning, maybe not the beginning, but maybe the second season or so, that Liam would have been a good king. And I agree with you. I think he's regressing right now. Because I don't think right now with the way he's acting, I think he's acting immature and childish. And grow up. If you want this role, grow up and be an adult and show them that you are worth it and that you've earned it and whatnot. So I do believe Robert's definitely acting more like a king than Liam is. I still just don't think he's right for the throne, though, because I do think that there's underlying bad in him and shadiness in him. But I think that essentially at the end of the day, they probably all have a little bit of good and bad in them. And they have to. They have to be a little bit ruthless to get where they are. I mean, look at any president, look at any, like, royal, look at King Charles. Like,
right.
They all do some bad stuff. So I think temporarily right now, he is the best bet. I'm interested to see where his relationship with Willow goes and if that helps turn him as well and make him a better person. Because I think she's a good influence.
She's a great influence. And let's just talk about her for a second because we kind of see her with Len this whole episode. And you can kind of tell she's being a little bit more quiet than we see her because usually she's the one to, you know, step up to Helena. She talks to Helena very honest and truthful of whatever she's feeling. And, you know, she's kind of honest with that with Robert. And how, I don't know how you feel about Willow because we haven't really been able to discuss this, but are you excited about her, you know, really jumping and saying, I want to be put back on the list?
Well, I loved Eleanor's, you know, response to her saying, I saw the way you looked at that and I wish I had said this sooner and I wish I'd done this sooner. And I always feel like I tell my girlfriends this, I'm like, say it. If you love someone, just say it. It's like the scene from My Best Friend's Wedding. If you don't say it, then the moment just passes you by. So I think her saying that, yes, she wants to be on the list again is good. I want to see what happens there. I think there's definitely going to be some sassy women thrown into the mix to scare her potentially off. And I think perhaps if she sees more of Robert's behavior, it could end their relationship, but that creates really good drama.
That's so true. I love hearing your perspective about things too because it just adds another interesting layer into the mix too because Willow is at first I didn't see it. I didn't see her and Robert being together and she seemed almost a little too good for him.
Yes.
And you know, obviously we know that she loved Liam, so that's another piece to put into the puzzle and kind of wonder if she could really let go of Liam because we know how much she really loved him. And so I was really kind of almost excited to finally see her open up and say, all right, you know what, I'm ready to give this a shot because she's seen Robert really kind of open up to her. But I fear that Robert is doing this just because he wants what he can't have and he's going to do this and he's going to rip her heart and that is what kills me.
But what if she's just as bad and she's just trying to gain the power and become the queen?
See, but that's the only thing. But so you think maybe her, because she talks about how she never wanted to marry for, you know, to be a royal.
But she went after Liam and now she's going after Robert and these are the two people.
Right. Maybe she does have just a great way of I can't even say it, manipulating them.
It could just be another layer we haven't seen yet and that she's kind of keeping close to her right now temporarily till we find out more. But I think I like her adding herself back to the list. I like this little bit. I like her being honest with Robert and saying that and taking that chance.
And that's great. And it's true because I feel something that we've gotten this season is a lot of truth. And I think that it's really exciting to finally see like relationships grow and not spend so much time lying to each other and being apart. So this season we kind of get Willow right out the gates kind of like, you know, realizing she's liking him and then telling Robert how she feels. And then we finally have Jasper and Len telling the truth for once in their lives, which is really exciting.
I was so excited.
Oh, that was such an aha moment. Like I was really scared they were gonna kill Jasper and never give us the happy ending we deserved, which would have been so disheartening as an audience member because we've been rooting for this for three seasons. So, but that's just, it is kind of exciting to see that. And I do secretly see Willow and Robert really growing to be something strong. But you did bring up a really great point about her kind of maybe wanting to fight her way in there, because she did make she said something a couple episodes ago about her mom, you know, basically let go of all of her royalty or any heiressness to fall in love. Maybe she resented her mom for that, you know, and so maybe she's thinking, I'm going to find my way back in to this lifestyle. And I didn't think about that before. I'm thinking maybe she's just a really good person, but I mean, maybe everybody's got their thing, you know? Everybody's got their secrets.
It could just be a little piece of her that we haven't found out yet, and that she's not ready. They're not ready to show us yet until we get closer and she kind of reveals her true colors. But maybe she really is, at the end of the day, a good person and is in it for the right reasons and really just has true feelings and has, like you said, let go of the feelings for Liam and is ready to move on with Robert.
Yeah, which would be good. It's funny because I feel as if in this show, we can't trust anybody. You know, you have to keep everybody with an arm's length because everybody kind of has this evil, dark side to them.
They're all doing something.
Yeah, which, speaking of someone that's doing something, Liam and Gretta, were you shocked that this came out so quick? I was expecting this payoff to not be this soon.
I didn't think he was going to go a couple episodes when we saw it. I didn't think he was going to go in the office and do it. I thought that he really had true feelings for Gretta. So when she asked him if what he said in defending her to her father was true, and he said yes, I was glad to at least hear that, because I do think he had feelings for her. But I think we've also seen him fight for so many girls in this show. He can't fight for another one. So this relationship needs to end, for sure. I feel bad that her father has continued to tell her her whole life that either she isn't good enough, and she was the fool yet again. I feel bad for her for that. But I mean, once again, he's apologizing. And the fact that he apologized later to Robert about Catherine, he's on an apology tour right now. I feel like I'm talking about Ramona on Real Housewives of New York. Royals apology tour. But I mean, so this episode, like I said, they all had redeeming qualities this episode, but his were redeeming. The other two were good. Like they had done good things. He did something kind of crappy, and now he's trying to like say, okay, yes, I'm going to tell the truth. So I didn't think it was going to come out that quickly. No.
I didn't either. And I was actually, it is really interesting because you kind of started to see him really start to fall for her. So I was kind of shocked to, you know, obviously.
But was he faking it the whole time?
I don't know. I really think that at the dinner table, when he kind of saw the way that her dad talked to him and kind of I think that was an aha moment of like, whoa, I actually care about this girl a little bit more. Right. And we can't forget that they did do a jump ahead sequence where they were like, it was a month into their relationship to where he had gone, which still is not a lot of time to go meet the parents. But, you know, it was a month ahead before he had met the family, and he kind of started, I think that was a realization of, whoa, I'm actually starting to care for this girl, which made that juxtaposition a little bit harder for him to really insert himself and do the bad thing he did. But he did it anyway. So he still, I think that he cared more about his pride and proving to everybody that his brother was bad rather than kind of falling for this girl. Something I do want to bring up that me and Fern were really annoyed with last episode was, how does somebody that rich not have cameras? And I actually was, even though I was sad that they brought that up as to why that was how they caught him, it was really relieving to know that we're not sitting in this, even though this is the real world, that it's that oblivious that there wouldn't be cameras in a guy that is in that such of a high
power position. Yes.
Yeah.
Or that he wouldn't know somehow that had happened.
Right. Because that would have been, even though it's upsetting that Liam got caught, it is kind of a silly thing to think that someone would not have
How
cameras.
Did you get away with it that easily?
Right.
No, it doesn't happen that way.
No. But yeah, so this whole Liam and Greta situation, it's kind of disheartening because we constantly see Liam kind of fall in these weird situations with girls that never go anywhere.
I loved Ophelia.
I did too. That was,
I loved her.
When she
I
left,
wanted that to work out.
When she left, I didn't think that was the end of her. I mean,
No,
they're going to bring her
chased her
back.
down.
Yeah, and then
But then
she found a boyfriend in New York, and that was it.
Whatever. She should have fallen back in love.
Do you think this is the end of Greta? Do you think we will see more of her in a more relationship? Do you think that they're going to find, amends to this?
I hope not, because it's the same it's the same story arc. He's continued to have season after season and girlfriend after girlfriend. So I want something different for him. So, I mean, for the actress, I hope that she gets to come back. For the show as a whole, no, I think they need to change his plot line completely.
Gotcha. Okay. So. That would make a little bit more sense. And I think it's interesting too to see that he actually did bring up Elizabeth again to his brother, and they talk about how he still loves her. Fern and I talked about a couple weeks ago how, whenever someone goes to America, aka Ophelia and Elizabeth, they don't come back. So do you think that this was a scene opening up that relationship to kind of still continue?
Possibly. Which, I mean, I feel like that would be a better way to go about things.
Right.
Are you talking about Elizabeth or Catherine?
Sorry, Catherine. I don't know.
Okay. I was like, Catherine?
No, Catherine.
Okay.
Sorry.
Cool. Just making sure.
Yes. Catherine, do you think that we could possibly see that happen?
Well, didn't he says he's always known who he was and what he stands for, but he's not sure now, and he hopes it helps him find his way back. He says he still has feelings for her. So, yes, I do hope that then that makes him go, I need to chase that down. I still have the feelings. I do need to go after that. Mm-hmm. And you say goodbye to Greta, unless Greta tries to blackmail him with something, which then that would add a nice another little layer.
That's true.
To her.
That's true. Yeah,
I think that's the only way I could see her sticking around.
Right. And but I don't think that there's going to be a new love interest that we're going to get introduced to for Liam, because we've had too many of the same situations.
And he either needs to fight for the throne or give it up or whatever is going on with him and Cyrus talking about it. I mean,
it's almost too much at this point.
Yeah.
With Liam, and
it's getting old.
Right. And we were team Liam for the longest time. And I think it's really frustrating. We were talking about how it's frustrating to see his character go through this huge complex, because you don't want it to be that way. You don't want this to be the end of Liam's strength. And him losing it last episode just kind of, it deflated me, because I was hoping that he was going to hold on to this information and, like you said, have a more mature way to package this information. You can't just blow up on somebody like that and pull a gun on your brother and expect things to be peachy keen the next day. That's just not how things work in a scripted world or a real world, And so I think that's a little bit frustrating with Liam, and hopefully we'll see him.
Well, they're definitely pushing then that Robert storyline, plot line, where he becomes king. And look at, sure enough, he does have the what's he say, ceremonial fashion.
Oh, yes.
He's like, look at, the crowds are cheering for me. Haha, this is exactly what you wanted, right? Pomp and circumstance and ceremony. I mean, so they're pushing that right now. The writers are pushing us to believe and like him. So they're adding Willow to the mix to make him perhaps a little bit more likable, give him some redeeming qualities, and then they're going to shoot it down later.
That is 100% spot on as to what I was thinking, because every time I've had complexes with Robert's character, I throw in the fact that I see him actually have love and care in his eyes for Willow, and that's the one thing that I think that makes him a good person, is his relationship with Willow. Mm-hmm. So that is spot on as to, I think you're right, completely right as to why she is thrown in the mix. But let's get into Jasper and his daddy issues. Ooh. Man, oh man, I was not expecting them to bring his dad back into this scenario.
Not right there, not right now. Like, I feel like sometimes shows progress things really, really slowly. Like, they progress like at a snail's pace, and then sometimes they just throw them out to you. And I feel like this season especially, they keep giving us things like an episode before, and then they show it to us, and I'm like,
I wasn't ready yet.
You need the build up here. So I don't know why they're doing that, but this came up really quickly. Like you said, the whole thing with Liam blew up right away. This blew up right here now with this. I certainly didn't think we were going to get to see his dad. No. Not this soon.
Well, and it was kind of as if last episode when he was talking to the crowd, or maybe that was 2 episodes ago, when he's talking to the crowd about his dad, and I thought that was a chapter we could finally close, because leading up to now, we've had Jasper continuously have this struggle of his past and kind of he wanted to let it go, but he couldn't because he was kind of holding a lie. So I thought him telling the public that was the closed door, and we were going to finally put that in the past. So the fact that we're bringing back this past into the forefront.
And we're bringing it back, and it's coming back again next week.
Yeah. And
so I'm even more confused, like, wait, what? And we'll talk about that when we get to predictions, but I'm really frustrated with that part of the story.
And the fact that it's not just his dad's back. His dad is somehow dating Duchess.
The Duchess, the Grand Duchess. This is what I'm confused by, because we know she came back because she doesn't have enough money to live on her own anymore, so she's moving back into the palace. Which, I mean, hey, I love seeing Joan Collins, so you can put her in anything, and I'm like, yes, great, fantastical. So then her talking about this new boyfriend that she has, Count Bellagio, some Italian count or whatever. How is this guy pulling it off? And I get it that they were con artists, but where was he getting the money to impress a duchess? Because I understand small scale, stealing things, whatever it is, and somehow impressing like some random girl.
Yeah.
Like, guys are stupid, girls are stupid at times. Sorry. Sometimes we just are. We don't understand or see exactly the wool that's being pulled over our eyes, and vice versa. But how do you pull one over on the Grand Duchess to say you're a count? And how are you backing this up? I mean, I expect him to have a 200-foot yacht.
Right. To be able to back up the information.
Back up that he's this person, and to walk in. And I'm thinking, well, Jasper's just going to say, that's my dad.
Right.
He's not a count. So the jig is up.
Yeah.
I don't understand where this is even going to go. I literally, I'm like, this can't go anywhere. He's just going to say, that's my dad.
Yeah.
That's who he is. Is there any questions?
And if this is something that we're going to end up lying to Len about, I will probably lose it. If we have one lie that has to include his dad, I will lose it.
But why would he?
I hope
what
not.
What reason does he have to? That's what I'm thinking. I don't think there's any reason for him to lie to her about it. He's just going to be like, that's my dad.
Okay.
He came back and he actually kind of helped me get back to the castle. But, I mean, that's the extent of it. I told them to go.
Right. I just really hope that they kind of shut this one down quick. Because it is kind of frustrating to bring this back up. But I think with Dutchie kind of being back in the storyline, maybe it is going to be something that she has a scheme going on now that she doesn't have money. So maybe it was like, I don't know. I don't really know what's going to go on there, and maybe we can get into that with random predictions about this random storyline. But I think they were trying to bring they're trying to bring the Duchess back, and maybe this is with their tie. Mm-hmm. But also, too, what my question is, how do Jasper and his dad have these connects to secretly, like, find their way into royalness? How do they do that?
You know? I mean, I guess the security thing would seem slightly, like, easier. I mean, a couple years training, all that stuff. You can fake some of that stuff or whatever it is. His dad being the count, I don't know how that works. Like I said, you have to be able to back up being a count. You know?
Yeah.
Somebody tells you if they have money and then they pick you up in a Tesla and take you to a $300 dinner. You're like,
okay.
I mean, unless you rented the Tesla.
Yeah.
And you're maxing out your credit card. And there are stranger things that have happened, but you know, like, you're backing it up a little bit. So how can you back up being a count?
Right. When he didn't even have that kind of close.
He literally had to throw a brick into a
store
thing to get a suit.
And he also had to have there be a blackout in order to get this suit and throw, like...
I mean, unless he somehow has some other stuff that he's done and he was just playing it off to Jasper because he really knew. Because remember, Jasper said, he goes, I'm going back to the palace. You're not coming with me. This ends here.
Right.
And he knew all along, oh, yeah, I am. This has already been in the works. This has already been planned. So this is all like a little backstory now that we're going over and into that's been going on behind their backs for the last 2 months, 3 months, however long.
Yeah. Ugh.
Or maybe the Duchess has been paying for everything, which is why her money ran out.
Oh, that could make sense.
I don't know. It's crazy.
It is such a weird storyline. I don't really know where it will go, but it's interesting. I give it that. It's really interesting to see where that's going to go. But it was kind of fun to see Helena, the Duchess, and Cyrus and the cellar together, kind of sharing stories and telling truths.
I would be happy to be down in a wine cellar.
Yeah, I think that's like the one
please,
place that you should be.
Just get me a bottle opener and we'll be fine. I don't need a glass. I'll just drink from the bottle.
Right. And Helena desperately wanted to get out of there.
She did. Well, after having to deal with Cyrus and then the Duchy, for sure. I liked their little game of truth or dare, though, and the honesty going on there. And I love seeing Cyrus have a softer side. What's his name? Jake Maskell. I love when he was talking about Violet and, hey, I realized it was probably better that she left because being in love is scary. and terrifying. And it is. But I liked seeing that I liked the truth or dare little session that they all had going on, and all of them revealing something about themselves.
I agree 100% because it's just fun to kind of see them be a little down to earth, because in the show we get so many grand gestures and so much crazy drama that sometimes you want to see these small moments between these characters, because they're supposed to be a family at the end of the day, and every family has issues. Theirs a little bit larger than others, you know? So it was fun to kind of see them come down to earth for a second and just kind of sit there and not have to be jumping around to 100 different things and be scheming plots just in order to cross paths. But that was fun. I feel like it was the lesser of what was kind of the grand scheme of this episode.
Sure, yeah.
Which
they came back to it a lot.
They did.
But it really, yeah.
I feel like we kind of got dragged along one topic that kind of went throughout the course of the episode. But
yeah, things ended with them saying something about, because I think she said something about she won't apologize for the person. Oh, the Duchess said, I won't apologize for the person that you, Helena, have become, which went straight into Jasper's dad saying, I won't apologize for the person you've become to Jasper. So they all kind of like intertwined together. So I liked that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like there was a lot of that storyline that really didn't technically need to be there.
Right, which I think they kind of kept showing with Len and Sarah Allison and them inviting everybody into the palace. I thought that was a fun kind of, girl power, let's get everybody in, and it was a fun, cute scene, but that kind of was something too that we didn't get to see too much, and it was good to see Len calm, because I think sometimes when she freaks out, when I start watching the episodes, I freak out, but she was more calm, and she really trusted that Robbie was going to bring Jasper back, which gave me, I think, hope that they were going to see each other.
Well, and even when Robert came back and then he said, I saw the ambulance, but I didn't see Jasper, you didn't really see her falter. Like, it was like she still believed that he was okay, where, like you said, she should have lost her cool, or she should have been nervous, but she wasn't. So I think that's good. And then I loved seeing them reuniting and kissing in front of everyone. I was like, yes, thank you. Oh, that made me so happy.
That made me so happy too, because I was thinking about how when he told everybody he has this girl, they obviously know who he is. So the fact that those people in the palace know that it's the princess.
Yeah.
So that was great. That was almost like our little own happily ever after.
So now we're going to see like next week they're going to show like this tabloid covering Jasper and Lenny dating, bodyguard gets shot, dating the princess, like what it's like in their life, and just back and forth and stuff. I'm excited for them to be able to have their relationship out in the open now. So
right, and they finally get to just live together in the same house, and he's actually there. Because that was my biggest fear, and I'm thinking, do we not just get one episode of them being in a hospital bed together? Please give us more. We have been waiting for this payoff, and you just gave it to us, and then we have to wait longer. So I think that'll be really interesting to see where all of this kind of progresses. But this was a very telling episode, I think. I think we got to we got a little and we gave a little, and I think it was really good. But I will be interested to see where Liam goes this season, because he worries me. He worries me a lot.
He's going down a dark path.
Very, very dark. But before we get into our fun little royal wedding countdown, is there any last thoughts that you guys that you wanted to kind of chat about? I feel like we kind of covered everything so far.
No, I feel like we got it all.
Yeah,
there was a lot, but we got it all.
There was a lot. I had to watch the episode twice to make sure that I caught it all, because I was nervous. Because every episode they give you so many separate storylines that you just want to make sure that you're tying them all together in the correct way. But let's get into our fun royal wedding countdown.
All right,
the real royals. So we've got the countdown up. We have 46 days, 9 hours, 6 minutes, and as the seconds are going, 57 seconds left until the royal day.
Wow.
I can't even believe that it's this close, and it's always so fun to talk about it with Fern and everything, because she apparently has even done, Meghan Markle has done interviews here before. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, I didn't know
because she was on Suits. That's what Fern said.
Oh.
So crazy. But one of the news announcements that came out from Kensington Palace was that they found the florist. They selected Philippa Craddock. I'm sorry if I am pronouncing that terribly, but I think it's Philippa Craddock. The flowers will be coming from her and the royal gardens, and they'll be church flowers for the wedding. So nothing big, but they found their florist, and that's exciting.
That's important.
That's
a big part of the day.
It is. It's crazy to think how much flowers go into a wedding, and then it's sad because they just go what
do you do with them after?
Yeah.
I was just at a wedding in December, and they basically used no flowers. It was an outdoor wedding at like a nice winery resort in Temecula, and they just didn't use a whole lot of flowers. It was more like woodsy and they just didn't use a whole lot of flowers. I was very surprised.
Yeah.
I'm like, you saved so much money then by not doing them, but it worked in that setting.
Right.
It doesn't always work. You can, some places you have to have flowers and centerpieces and figure it out. This didn't need it. It worked for the venue and the event.
That's amazing.
But
Yeah. It is crazy. They do play such an integral part.
huge part usually in it. So
Especially as the bouquet and everything. So it has to
Sure.
be perfect. Which we all can't wait. So again, guys, that was 46 days, 9 hours, and 5 minutes down to the wire. We're getting there. Alrighty. Well, let's get into some predictions for next week. I have so many thoughts on my mind.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Alrighty, Lyndsey, what are you thinking?
Well, we hear Robert say that he's starting to have feelings for Willow. And then we saw some girl who I don't know who that was, the last little snippet that we saw, if that was her, trying to seduce him. It happened so quickly. I'm interested to see where their relationship's going to go, and if she's going to make him be a better person, or if we're going to find out that reveal, haha, I'm after trying to become the queen. I got you. I fooled you all type of thing. I sincerely hope that we get a great episode with Jasper and Eleanor, and I hope that Jasper admits right away, this is my dad, this is the situation, no lies, let's seriously start this off here, our relationship, now that we're in the public eye, let's start this off on an honest foot and not have any lies. And I kind of want to see what the Duchess is going to do when she finds out.
Right.
That he's a con man.
That he is not a count, and I'm sorry, but your money problems are not going to be solved by him in any way, shape, or form. I love all of those predictions, and I agree with a lot of them, and I don't know. It's so crazy to think about where everything could go, because with the whole Willow situation, if she does pull a fast one on us, I will 100% be shocked. I will kind of see it coming because we've started to see signs, and obviously we know Robert's a little kooky, but Willow's kind of been one that I've been thinking is a solid
character,
good person. But all right, my prediction's going to be towards Liam. I'm so nervous about him, and I just want him to kind of bounce back from all of the crap he's been going through. But I'm thinking that him and Catherine are going to have a scene together, and I think she is. I think she's coming back. I don't think she's gone for good, and I think it could be maybe something along the lines of Catherine finally comes back, but then Gretta goes to him and is like, listen, did you really like me? She's going to be looking for answers, because I don't think she's going to go away that easy. Like you said, there could be blackmail.
For some sort of vengeance, blackmail, revenge type situation when he's happy with Catherine, when Catherine finally says that, yeah, she does, maybe she wants to work it out, and then, Greta comes and says all these things.
Yeah, because there's got to be
something's got to mess it up.
Some sort of messy situation going. And then I'm also going to agree with Fern, is I think that the more we see Eleanor progress, I could totally see her becoming queen at the end of this.
I love it. I side with Fern as well on that.
All right, Fern, you've got 3 on here. We are rooting for Queen Len. Oh my gosh, so much fun every week. Guys, thank you so much for joining us in the chat. I am going to give a random shout out to Laura Hawk. Thank you so much for joining. You are our fan of the week. And if you want to be fan of the week next week, make sure you tweet us, comment below, anything. Tell us your predictions. We love hearing from you. But before we go, Lyndsey, where can they find you on social media?
You guys can find me on all things social media at Lyndsey Wegner. That's LYNDSEYWEGNER. Tweet me, follow me on Instagram, all the fun stuff. I've got something good going on.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Please
I'm glad to be here.
Come back any week. We'd love to have you here. Guys, Ali Nasta here. Find me on Twitter at Ali Nasta and on Instagram at Ali Girl. And if you want to watch Ease the Arrangement, we are doing the after show at 8 p.m. 9 p.m. 9 p.m. right here on AfterBuzz TV. We will see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.